We'll start with David and then go to Luke, please. David, start.
Eddie, is it fair to say you couldn't really have any complaints about the outcome today?
Yeah, no complaints on the results. I thought we were beaten by the better team today. For half an hour I thought we gave a really good account of ourselves, and then we fell away and they stepped up, and that was a tough 45 minutes at the end.
Luke?
There's been a lot of sort of talk about challenging for Premier League titles and major honours in 4 years' time by 2030. That's probably a stark reminder of how big that gulf can look when City are that good and you're well beaten.
Yeah, I think that they made changes to their team, but I think you can see the strength and depth that they have and they possess, and I think for us that was probably a step too far for us today against them when they're in that mood. I thought they were excellent. And we fell away in the game. We seemed to lose our energy, but they do that too because they keep the ball so well. They make you run, they make you chase, and then you're tired, and then you make another technical mistake, and then you're chasing again. They've done that for years. That's why for me they've been the best team that we've continually faced. And I felt today they were in a really good place, and we just fell out of energy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jordan, and then to Daniel, please. Jordan?
You're at the FA Cup and 12th in the Premier League. Is your season now hinge on success in the Champions League?
Well, yeah, I mean, in terms of trying to achieve something really memorable, yes. So all energy, all focus now goes on to Tuesday.
Eddie, just touching on Luke's question again, clearly the club wants to aspire to be like Manchester City in the future. Are you confident that that still will be the case, and how many ever years it takes?
Yeah, it's not really my focus at the moment. I think they're long term. They're obviously long term questions. My focus is really short term, and it's trying to win the game that's in front of me, and that's Barcelona in the Champions League. I think we have to be, as much as it's easy to be very negative in this moment, I understand we've gone out the FA Cup, but we have the biggest game in the club's history coming up in no time at all. We've got to get the players ready for that. We've got no time to dwell on this.
And just on the short term, I guess, what is the message to fans at this point? Because yes, there's disappointment that you're out of the cup now, but there is still something to play for in the Champions League, and the league form obviously could be better, but it's still possible you could finish the season well.
Yeah, I think that the supporters were incredible today. I have to say, in that second half, when it was very, very difficult for us as a team, they were still cheering for us. They were still supporting us. That's typifies the crowd at the end with the reaction they gave the team. Unbelievable, really. And I was saying that as we were walking around. This is a really unique football club full of incredible people, and we're going to need every single person that enters the stadium on Tuesday to try and make the difference for us.
Thank you. We'll go to Scott, Lee, and then to Craig, please. Scott?
I know we've talked about this a few times anyway, but I just wonder what you thought of kind of Nick today in midfield, and it felt like when he first moved there, it looked brilliant for a little while. It seems like in the last couple of times he's played there, he's found it a lot more difficult maybe.
Yeah, I think for any of our midfielders today, it was difficult because they keep the ball so well. They do what they do brilliantly. I think that's a difficult game for Nick. When we're not in possession of the ball, his best qualities are going to be shown when we have the ball. But then I think you look at it a different way and go that we had three fit and available players to play in there today. Joelinton we didn't want to start. We felt it was too big an injury risk today. So we were running out of options in there. So I thought he did a good job for the team. I've got no issue with his attitude. He's just come off the back of quite a bad illness actually. So to get through the minutes he did, I was pleased with him. He'll play a lot better than that. We'll play a lot better than that and see a better version of him in there, I'm sure.
Thank you. Lee?
Eddie, the team started with good intensity and obviously you had the lead with that, but then did it become a sort of tactical battle that we just couldn't get past in the end?
I don't think it was necessarily a tactical problem for us. It was more the way they play and how good they are technically. They took a stranglehold of the ball, and when we got it back, we gave it away too easily, maybe looking too vertical and not horizontal enough at times. And then as soon as you make a technical mistake against them, you're not seeing the ball again for long periods, and then your energy just drains away. That's why they've been the best team for so long, and I think they're coming back into the type of form that makes them that team again. They're evolving into a different version of what they've been before, but very, very effective. So that was a tough learning lesson for us in that second half. We just didn't have the strength to make a dent in them.
Do you think that, obviously you've got Livramento coming back from injury, it's almost like we're getting close to a rebuild moving into into the, so not a total rebuild, but you do need fresh faces in there. Some players who are closer to the end of their career than they are to the start.
Yeah, I don't think that's a conversation for now. Of course, I think you're always in slight rebuild. You're always in slight transition because football changes very quickly, and you know we're in a cycle where we just need to get some players back fit and get some of the strength back in the group. Again, I couldn't use Jacob Murphy today because of a neck problem, which he suffered yesterday, and wanted to see how he felt in the warm up to see if I could use him. So we were really stretched today again, and I think the lads that played gave everything, but we ran out of energy.
Thank you. A bit back of the room.
Yeah, just in terms of that centre forward position, obviously Asula played today, but Nick's played there, Johan, Anthony in recent months. Do you still enjoy the challenge of finding and helping and getting that position, or do you expect at this level for one of them to go, actually my performance is that good that you can't knock it?
I think Anthony's done that in recent weeks, in my opinion. I think he's played really well in that position. I think he's led the line well. I think he enjoys the responsibility of it. So I think his performances have been very good. Yeah, Nick's played there, of course, and he continued to play there. I've got no doubt about his abilities. For me, the position stuff is sort of immaterial. He'll end up in between lines. That's where he's at his best, whether he starts high or whether he comes from a deeper position. He needs to exist in there to us to see his best qualities. Johan, we're still building back to fitness, and Will Asula did really well on Wednesday, and I think he's a real positive, and I thought he did okay today. There was a couple of really big moments for him. I think the one where he goes through being chased by John Stone's a big moment in the game, and I think he'd back himself to maybe get that shot away quicker on another day, but I thought there was a lot of positives in his performance too.
Thank you. Craig?
Eddie, City made 10 changes, you made 4, but it was almost as if the impact was great, I felt, on yourself. Does that sort of exemplify where you're at on your respective journeys? And you took out the spine, you've explained Joe Linton, there was Dan Byrne, Joe Linton, Anthony Gordon, but you're just not in a place right now where you can shuffle that spine in terms of the steel and energy they provided. They were great on Wednesday, of course.
Yeah, I think we're in a difficult spot, Craig, because we're trying to get through the games and perform and to win, but we're also trying to navigate and keep players fit, which is very, very difficult to do. The combination of the two, I don't think we've got the strength at the moment to make loads of changes and keep the same strength in our performance. We tried to do it with a couple of key players today that we had to protect. Like Anthony Gordon's come in with an ankle problem. We had to protect him today. We had to protect Joe Linton today with past experience. These players are too big to lose. Big Dan Byrne was more of a choice to play Sven. Sven's a top quality player. Other than that, we were near enough at full strength.
Chris?
Eddie, am I right? Did I hear you say that you think Tuesday is the biggest game in the club's history coming up? And if so, can you just explain why you think it is such a big game? Well,
We've never been in this position in the Champions League before, and it's the best competition there is. So I think for obvious reasons, I think it's a massive game in our history, and we need to approach it that way. We need the supporters to think that way, and we need to try and find some energy from somewhere that will elevate our performance to a level that we've not seen before this season, because I think that's the only way we'll get through.
We just mentioned the energy. You've obviously had the playing with 10 men on Wednesday, and then the game tonight. It's quite a quick turnaround for Tuesday as well.
Yeah, it's a disappointment really for us, because we've played Manchester City twice, once off extra time in the FA Cup the first time, and then today off the back of playing with 10 men, and I think we've gone into both pivotal cup ties maybe not in our best place. That's no excuse. They were magnificent today and we weren't, but it's been a challenging period for us, and we're still trying to battle our way through it.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Cheers.
Thank you.